Hello everyone, Melody here, mama of 4 in our blended family of 6. Welcome to Homeschool Happy Hour. Today is going to be a video that is part of a collaboration called Meet the Teacher. Now we've done these before, but we are always changing and growing, and I am excited to be joining this collaboration that is hosted by at Making Everyday Magic, where you can meet a variety of secular homeschoolers and get to know the people a little bit behind the videos that hopefully you're gaining a lot from. I keep looking down on my lap here. She has given us a list of questions to answer, which I'm hoping will really help focus this video. But before I get into answering these questions, I just wanted to reintroduce myself. If you are new here, I am a homeschool mom going into my 10th year of homeschooling. I have one kid that has graduated from public school, a second kid that is attending public school, 2 homeschoolers, one of which will be attending public school part-time this year, and we are going into our 10th year of homeschooling. My youngest is 11, my oldest is 19, and this channel is about all things homeschool, homeschool curricula, homeschool life, just having a place to connect with other homeschoolers, specifically secular homeschoolers, and I'm excited to be bringing you videos every day. So please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and follow along. This year I have a 7th grader and a 10th grader-ish, and so I'm gonna jump right in to the questions. Question number 1, what led you to this path? Now, I had not always wanted to homeschool. I worked in the public school district well before I had children, and my experiences there gave me serious doubts about putting my children in public school. I myself really disliked public school, and then when it came time to decide when I had children and it came time to decide where they would attend school or what we would do for school, I actually lived quite a distance from any of the public schools, which would have required an excessive amount of time riding the bus. Now, I have some short videos on YouTube that you can check out. It's 101 reasons why we homeschool. So I could go on and on forever about why we chose homeschooling, but if you want more, check those videos out. Otherwise, we'll just leave it there for now. Question number 2 is, what subject or topics do you love teaching the most, and why are they your favorite? This has changed over the years, big time. Right now, my favorite subject, if I have to choose one, is history. I feel like I could almost choose history and then build so many other things on that. I love learning about the past. I love that as a homeschooler, I can have what I feel is a more objective and realistic look at history as opposed to what I was taught when I was in school. I love a good story. History provides that. I love a good discussion. History provides that. It's all around just my favorite subject right now. My favorite subject used to be math. It's not that I like math any less. History has just kind of bumped that one into second place. Question number 3 is, what is your teaching philosophy and style? This one I don't really have a good answer to. I mean, I know there's like a lot of different teaching methodologies and styles out there, like formal, labeled teaching styles and teaching approaches, but my style has really been, this is what works for us in this moment at this time, and we're gonna go with it. If that's a style, that's mine. I like to take a little bit from all the different ones. I don't like fitting inside any particular box. I don't like the idea of being really tunnel visioned into any particular style, because I feel like every child is different, every parent is different, every home is different, and there are things that we can gain from so many different directions. And so I like to stay dynamic in that way, you know, variety is the spice of life. Some people would say that makes me an eclectic homeschooler because I'm doing that, but I don't know if that's the right fit. So I'm just gonna go with freestyling. Yeah, that's what I am. I'm a freestyling homeschooler. The next question is, as a homeschool mom, what are some of the biggest challenges you face in balancing your roles as a parent and a teacher? I don't really know how to answer this question. I feel like as parents, We are always teaching our children in everything we do or don't do. When you don't smoke cigarettes, you're teaching your children that it's probably a better, healthier choice not to smoke. When you do choose exercise and fitness as a part of your regular routine, you're teaching your children that's a healthy part of their routine. Everything is a lesson, whether we want it to be or not. So to me, homeschooling is just like parenting on steroids. Like, you're going from, I'm teaching them this and then I'm sending them somewhere else for their academics, to I'm just teaching all things, and the teaching parenting is intermingled. It's all part of the system that we're using in our home. So I don't really separate the two. If there's an area in which I really need to find balance, it's being a mom slash teacher slash individual human. Finding balance between just being me, myself, and I versus being the parent of all these other people that have expectations of me all the time. Finding balance there, that is probably my challenge. The next question is, how do you create a conducive learning environment at home for your children? Well, my children would say that I overdo it. I love learning materials, learning opportunities, all of these things. So anytime I see them, I'm like, ooh, this is fun. Ooh, this is fun. For example, we were watching a show and it had a periodic table shower curtain. So of course I had to get one. So then we had a shower curtain that had the periodic table on it. Sometimes, or in my old house, I used to have a map of the world on the wall in the bathroom next to the toilet, along with a whiteboard where I would write questions like, can you find Burma? Can you find Uganda? Can you find etc.? Or what's the capital of? And it's just there. It's learning is permeated into our life. This is probably a great annoyance to my children sometimes, but I think it's fun, so I keep doing it. As far as the structured part of our learning, I do try and make sure that all of our materials are easily and readily available. All of our routines are clear so that everybody knows what's going on, what's happening. That helps our learning take place smoothly. She's got a lot of questions here. The next one is, what resources or curriculum do you find most helpful in your homeschooling journey? That changes all the time. It really depends on what my kids are into. Last year, the resources that were most helpful for us were some of the online resources that were available. Because of what had been going on in our world last year, I was a little bit more hands-off than I had been previously. So having those online resources that they could do independently were super helpful. This year, I am excited to be leaning into some literature-based studies, and I like to have resources that we can read together as a family. And so I find those to be helpful so that we're not all just isolating and working our own corners. We can work together and learn together. I love that. Next question. How do you tailor your teaching methods to meet the individual needs and learning styles of your children? Now, this is a good one because I think sometimes we forget, like we talk a lot about how children have different learning styles. Most of us understand that. We need to remember that as adults, we also have our own learning/teaching style. We're most likely to teach in a way that is reflective of our learning style. Our kids' learning style might not match that. Knowing both is essential, because if I know my kid's learning style and I'm trying to meet that learning style, that's great. But if my learning style is totally different, therefore my natural teaching style is totally different, I need to respect that too. I can't just throw out my way of looking at things and doing things in order to cater to them entirely. You need to find a balance where I need to meet them closer to where they're at, but I also need to have some grace and understand that I need to respect myself and my approach to things too. So finding that balance is the closest thing that I can say I do to tailoring. Knowing that my children are different from each other is also important. Knowing that I can take one approach with child A and one approach with child B makes a difference. When we do family style learning, I have to have a little bit more of a dynamic approach in that, knowing that they have different learning styles. So it's kind of like a moving target. You're always adjusting and changing to fit the needs of everybody. The next question, do you involve your children in the planning of their lessons and educational goals? If so, how? Yes. Yes, I do whenever possible. I absolutely ask them what they want to learn. I ask them what their opinions are. If I'm looking at two different curricula and I feel like they're equally beneficial but different, then I will ask them which one they like more. They don't get final say, I get final say, but I 100% want their input and definitely take that into account. Sometimes that means they ended up choosing it. Sometimes it means I ended up finding something that was completely different because they didn't like either of them. Sometimes I don't ask them because I'm not prepared to hand over that decision for that curriculum in that moment, but I absolutely have an ongoing discussion with them. As far as goals, I usually, in the first week of homeschooling each year, one of our projects are creating a poster for each of us. So they create a poster that they can use words, they can use pictures, they can decorate it however they want. It's just like a regular sheet of paper and it slides into the front of their school binder for the year. And it's their personal goals. What are they hoping to gain from the year? What things will they have the most fun doing? That kind of thing. So then I and they always have a visual reminder of where we want to be and what we want to do. All right, guys, we're almost there. I got 2 questions left. The next one is, what are some of the extracurricular activities or field trips you organize to enrich your children's homeschooling experience? I love extracurricular activities. We do a lot of them. We're not farm people. We don't have a lot of outdoor things inherently built into our homeschool like some people do. And so I find that I need to actually have those extracurriculars set up. This year, the girls will be doing piano to varying degrees of excitement, and they will be doing sports. One of them will be in junior high sports, one of them will be in high school sports. They have been told they need to pick at least 2 sports every year now that they are available, because I need them to stay physically active. And I need them to do this because it is best for their health, their mental health, their physical health, their well-being, all of the above. And so sports are a big one in our family. Can they do more? Yes. Can they do less? No. They might decide they don't like sports a whole lot when they're older, and that is okay. But for now, that is a line that I have drawn in the sand, and they have to work with it. One of my kiddos has chosen over time to change into a variety of different sports. At one time, she was a competitive gymnast, and we were super into that. And then we kind of let that go, and now we're kind of doing a shotgun effect. I believe there's benefits to either side. So that is our extracurricular life. The last question, what do you find most rewarding about being a homeschool mom and teacher? I'm gonna refer back to that 101 Reasons Why We Homeschool again. I don't know if I could choose one. I think one of the big ones is time. I have more time with my children, therefore we know each other better. We have a more healthy, productive family relationship, and they know themselves more, which I love for them. Having had public school students and homeschool students, there is a significant difference between how much my homeschoolers are self-aware and self-confident and have a real knowledge of what they enjoy, what their passions are, as opposed to my public schoolers, which struggle with that quite a bit more. For me, that's very rewarding to see that happening. I really like my kids, so I like spending time with them. They'd probably like it if I spent a little less time with them, but so far they're not complaining too much, so we'll just keep going. Make sure you take the time to check out the other Meet the Teacher homeschool mom videos that are available on the playlist that you can find on Shanna's page at Making Everyday Magic. Let me know, is there anything else that you would like to know about us? we're bringing you a lot of information, and sometimes it's nice to know more about the person that you're getting that information from. So if you have a question, drop it in that comment box. If there's something that I said that you relate to, make sure you let me know. It's nice to connect with people. Other than that, I will catch you next time.